What is up, everybody? You got Tone here, bringing you my NPL Minors Season 4 Week Number 3 Team Builder and Battle. This week we are up against Jarboss and his Chicago Kyurem-Blackhawks, and he is coming off of a 6-0 sweep of the Vancouver Stealth Rocks on the back of Calm Mind's Rock Polish Stored Power Necrozma, with some help from Bulk Up Baton Pass Mega Metacham. So he's having a good season. He's number 1 in the entire league with a 2-0 with a plus 10 differential. And we are coming off, of course, a tough loss against Donachie and his Rose Radenborg. So in terms of the matchup between my team and his, as you see, my team on the top and my opponent's team is on the bottom. Main thing you'll notice about Jar's team, first and foremost, his team is very, very fast. His slowest Pokemon is Heatran at base 77, and then his fastest Pokemon being Ambipom at 115, then Thundurus at 111, and then everything else just fall between base 77 and 100. So trying to outspeed certain things on his team is going to be very, very difficult, but at the same time makes it very, very easy for me to lay back and just be like, I know I can't outspeed certain mons, so I don't really need to invest that much into speed. So the main objective for my team or this week was trying not to avoid the same fate as Jar's first two opponents, where they got swept. Week 1 he got a Comfey sweep. Last week was a Necrozma sweep, and basically I'm trying to avoid doing the same, having them do the same thing to me. So I also see by the matchup, we see Mega Metacham and you see my team, and nothing really comes in on Mega Metacham at all. Mega Metacham basically has the potential to two-shot everything on my entire team with just a combination of High Jump Kick, Zen Headbutt, and Ice Punch, just because it's just that good against my team. My second resist is Scrafty, which dies to High Jump Kick, and Scrafty doesn't really have a good particular matchup in this case anyway because of the Comfey, which I am not gonna lie, I am a little bit afraid of it, but I'm more afraid of Mega Metacham Necrozma, and then Thundurus Incarnate being his Z Captain, meaning that stuff like Excadrill doesn't really check it the way I want to, but at the same time, there's not much I can do about that. Heatran, I kind of expect, just for the sense that if he brings setup Necrozma, his only other Stealth Rocker is Heatran, so I would expect that. Hydreigon, it's a possibility, simply because you could check my Latios with it, but again, I have a Clefable, so it's kind of a 50-50. Rose Raid can be a nuisance if he's like heavy sets of hazards or whatnot. And Force Rapid Spin away them with Excadrill, but luckily for me, he has no Ghost type, so Rose Raid can still come in the sense of just trying to like prevent my Xurkitree from becoming a pain. My Milotic deals with my Entei, so I can see that coming. Ambipom, Flygon, and Flygon I don't really see coming. They have the speed to outspeed me. Dragonance Flygon can be an issue, but at the same time not that big of an issue. Because I have bulky stuff like Clefable, Vaporeon, which can check it pretty reliably. So in terms of the 6 I'm predicting Jar to bring, I'm predicting the Mega Metacham, the Necrozma, the Thundurus Eye, the Heatran, just because I need a Stealth Rocker, the Milotic for the Entei, and the last Pokemon is between Hydreigon and Rose Raid, one of those two Pokemon. Comfey can come in. Comfey can be a solid 6 if he's worried about my Latios, but I don't think he will be because of the Thundurus. My Milotic can take a hit pretty decently, depending on his EV spread. So yeah. So that all being said and done, I'm going to just go over the team that I brought against Jar. First Pokemon you see here, we have Jalago, the Excadrill. Running a especially defensive set here with Rock Tomb, Toxic, Rapid Spin, and Earthquake. Now, I initially had Stealth Rock on this because offensive Excadrill actually doesn't do much, especially considering he has that Milotic, which can switch it on Excadrill any day of the week. So I figured I'd make this more of a defensive spread to check stuff like Necrozma, check Thundurus Eye, non-Fire Blast Hydreigon, non-HP Fire, Rose Raid, stuff like that. So Rock Tomb is here for the Thundurus, as I can't really touch it otherwise other than Toxic. Rapid Spin, and Earthquake is pretty spammable against this team because his ground resist is the Thunderous. So as for the EV spread, 220 HP gives me a leftovers number, max special defense, 16 speed with a jolly nature, lets me outrun uninvested Comfey so I can hit it with a Toxic, and the rest is just put into attack to boost the power of Earthquake. So next up we have our Clefable here with leftovers, Moonblast, Soft Boil, Toxic, Hidden Power, Ground. I really wanted to bring Calm Mind instead of HP Ground, but that Heatran was so much of a problem that I needed to bring HP Ground to get off a good chunk to the Heatran. Didn't really need anything else because I didn't want to compress moves on Clefable, and Toxic is really nice for stuff like my Milotic, Comfey, stuff like that. Running fully fifthly defensive here because, like I said, Mega Medicham is a major pain for my team, and Clefable can at least take one attack from Mega Medicham and retaliate with a Moonblast. I initially had Life Orb on Clefable here to guarantee the one-hit KO on Mega Medicham with Moonblast, but if I manage to chip it down enough, then Moonblast will take it out anyway. So, and as you see, I'm not running a Stealth Rock on my team. So yeah, I'm really going to have to rely on Clefable trying to take a hit from the Mega Medicham and retaliate with a Moonblast. And then HP Ground, like I said, is for that Heatran. Next up, we have Livewire, our Circuitry, rocking Assault Vest, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Dazzling Gleam, Discharge. I initially had HP Ice over Discharge, but I don't really anticipate the Flygon coming that much because I don't really have a good matchup against my team. So I put Discharge on here. Dazzling Gleam still hits the Flygon pretty decently. Running enough speed for Comfey. I don't really remember what my benchmark was for. 96 in special attack for 1 point higher than max special attack Timid Circuitry, and really nearly max HP, as this basically lets me check weaker stuff like Milotic. I switch on Milotic a little bit easier. I take on Roserade a little bit easier. Hydreigon, stuff like that. Next up, we have Centikill, our Scolipede, rockin' Buggy MZ, Protect, Megahorn, Poison Jab, and Earthquake. Max attack, 144 speed, lets me outrun, I believe, his fastest Pokemon, Scolipede outspeeds, which is the... no, I outspeed his base 100s. I toned it down because if I try to outspeed Thundurus and he's like Thunder Wave, a Thunder Wave variant of Thundurus, then it doesn't really matter. And I figured the added bulk and special defense would help me out with taking hits a little bit better. So I really needed Buggy MZ because I needed to break past Necrozma. I didn't want that thing to sweep me, and Savage Spin now has a good chance of knocking it out even through Prism Armor. Poison Jab, 2-hit KOs Comfey, and Earthquake is there for the Heatran. Everything else gets hurt pretty badly by Megahorn, pending that I hit, of course. So that is my Scolipede. Number 5, we have Delta, our Choice Specs Latios with Psyshock, Thunderbolt, Surf, and Trick. So this set doesn't really do much to Hydreigon, but like I said, it's a 50-50 between him bringing either Hydreigon or Roserade or potentially Comfey. But if he brings Hydreigon, I have Clefable that can check it, so it's not that big of a deal, and I also have Scolipede. So running enough speed for his base 100s, his Mega Medicham. Psyshock is just spammable in general and also helps me bypass stuff like Calm Mind Comfey, Thunderbolt for the Milotic, and Surf lets me hit that Heatran. And the last Pokemon nothing really fit, nothing really had a good matchup for that 6 slot, but I just slapped on Entei with Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed Bulldoze, Toxic with Life Orb, enough speed for the Tau Speed, Timid Max Speed Heatran, Non-Scarf, hit it with a Bulldoze, Toxic for the Milotic, and the like. So this team builder is a little bit rushed, so to speak, but these sets are kind of self-explanatory. And Jar's team, not gonna lie, is very, very threatening against me. So I had to be very careful about how I play in this game. Like I said, I expect most of the first 6 Pokemon to come on his team, with the Rose Raid or Hydreigon being toss-ups. Comfey could come, but I am prepared for that too. So yeah, that's going to be the team builder for week number 3. So we're going to switch over right over to the battle and see how things go. So be right. Alright, so here we are with the battle for NPL Minors Season 4, Week 3 versus Jarboss. And see the team he brings. He brings the Mega Medicham, the Rose Raid, the Milotic, Thundurus Incarnate, which you can't see much, the Heatran, and the Necrozma. So I got most of the team right. The toss-up between Hydreigon and Rose Raid was, I mean, like I said, he didn't bring Comfey, so a little bit easier, I guess, for my team, but I had some way to check it. So in terms of leads for him, he's most likely going to either lead off with the Heatran or the Milotic or something along those lines, or he could potentially lead up with Thundurus, because it kind of pressures most of my team. My switch into Thundurus is Excadrill, but if he's like a mixed variant, I'm kind of screwed. But I decided for the most part to try to get up my try to get momentum at least with my Latios. I considered Latios as the lead because he didn't really have much for the for a Spec Psyshock, even though he has a Heatran, but Heatran I have Surf for and T-Bolt for the Milotic. So he's going to end up leading with Thundurus. I'm going to lead up with Latios, like I said. I'm very scared of like a knockoff or something, so I'm going to hard switch into Xurkitree. He's going for the U-turn. And he's going to go right out into his Rose Raid. Don't really care much about this because I'm a Assault Vest. He goes for Sludge Bomb, don't get the poison. I get a slow Volt Switch going here, and I'm going to go right back out into my Latios, and I am free to click Psyshock because he does not have Hydreigon. He goes on into his Milotic here to scout. He goes for Psyshock, does well over half, well, roughly half, and he reveals he's Flame Orb. So Psyshock won't take on my Milotic. He doubles into Heatran on the next Psyshock, and I kind of wanted to double at that point, but I didn't realize that was the best play. I'm going to go hard into my Entei here. He's going to get up his Stealth Rock. So now I'm going to predict the Milotic here, so I'm going to double into my Xurkitree, predicting the Milotic, and I do get the play correct. So this gives me a free Volt Switch, and it puts a lot of pressure on his Milotic. He's going to go hard into Thundurus this time as I Volt Switch right on out into my I go into Latios this time. This was a bad play, as you're going to see, because I derped here and I forgot that I'm not outspeeding Thundurus. And he's going to reveal Supersonic Sky Strike and obliterate my Latios. So the play was to actually sack off Entei there. So here comes my Excadrill, and I make another bad play. He goes for Superpower here. I'm predicting him to switch out, and I'm going to go for Earthquake. Cause I'm expecting him to go into either my Milotic. I was mainly expecting my Milotic here, which is why I went for Earthquake. I should have went for Rock Tomb, but he goes for the U-turn finish on my Excadrill, so that sucks. So I essentially get the momentum here. So I'm gonna go out into my Scolipede here. First, I'm gonna go for Protect just to see what he's gonna do here. He goes for Fire Blast, and he stayed in even though he had my Milotic, which still lived the Mega Horn. So I'm already assuming this is Shuckaberry the way he's been playing it. I'm going to go hard into Entei here because I want to pop the Shuckaberry on the Heatran as soon as possible. And he unfortunately misses a Fire Blast, which kind of doesn't matter at this point because it would have did like at least 25%. So he's going to go out into his Milotic. I'm going to click Bulldoze here. Doesn't do much damage at all. And he revealed I'm Life Force, so I'm going to go hard to my Xurkitree here, predicting the Recover, as he does go for Recover here. So I could have Volt Switched again, as his main switch into this is a Rose Raid. So in comes Rose Raid. I should have went for Volt Switch, but I went for Discharge, trying to get the Para, and I don't get it. And I'm just going to let my Xurkitree go down to the Sludge Bomb, although I probably should have went hard into Entei. But I do go with Scolipede here, click Mega Horn, take out the Rose Raid. The crit did not matter at that point. So now it does give him a switch in back into his Heatran, and this is the most obvious Shuckaberry now. So I'm going to make the switch back into my Entei. because like I said, I need to pop the Sugarberry because I got Scolipede EQ to take out Heatran from that range after Sugarberry. Going back into Milotic on my Bulldoze. So I don't really have much of a play here, so I'm actually going to let my my Entei go down because I died to Stealth Rock Reentry. It does give him a free turn to recover, but I don't really have a choice. So after my Entei drops here to the Life Orb Recoil, he's going to go for a recover here, but it does give me a free switch into my Clefable here. And I'm just going to spam Moonblast at this point, as he's just going to recover off any lost health. So it's looking very, very bad. It's 2v5. Going on to my Clefable here, and all I'm just going to do here is spam Moonblast. I get a crit and a special attack drop on top of it. He goes for Scald. It's going to do pitiful damage to my Clefable. Get the burn, which doesn't matter because I have Magic Guard. So my play is to just keep spamming Moonblast because my Milotic stands in the way of my Scolipede. It's kind of actually the only thing standing in the way of Scolipede. So he's going to get the recover off, and it's pretty much going to be just me spamming Moonblast for the next couple of turns. He can't really switch into anything. I mean, he could switch into Heatran and preserve this, which is kind of what I thought he would do. Preserve the Milotic. Recover. I thought he was going to recover here, then switch out to Heatran on the Moonblast, and then force me to pop the Shuka, and then from there, it kind of would have been GG about a few turns sooner, but it lets me take out the Milotic, which is great for my Scolipede. Goes out into Heatran. I'm clicking HP Ground. He goes for Flash Cannon. Does 69%. Go for HP Ground. Finally pop the goddamn Shuckleberry on his Heatran. So now I'm fine with my Clefable going down at this point to the next Flash Cannon for my Heatran, because this does pave the way for my Scolipede to come in and finally click Earthquake like I wanted to so long ago. So Heatran goes down. And essentially it probably would have been a 3-0 loss if it wasn't for the fact that I'm packing the Buggy MC. We're going to fire off that Savage Spin Out, and down goes in the Crossma, so it's at least going to be a 2-0 loss to Jar. Or so you think. So now we go on to Thundurus, and he clicks, I'm going to click Poison Jab, down goes the Thundurus. So now a potential 4-0 loss is becoming at least a 1-0 for some gosh darn reason. Before I click Mega Horn here, I protect first to scout for Fake Out or Bullet Punch on the Mega Medicham. He just goes straight for the Ice Punch. Now the only way I win is if I crit this Mega Horn on the Mega Medicham. I go for the Mega Horn Connect, and we only do 82%, and he takes me out with the Ice Punch. So a potential 4-0 loss to Jar and the Chicago Kyurem-Blackhawks ended up becoming a 1-0 loss. Kind of, I mean, it should have been actually a 4-0 loss, because after he recovered with the Milotic on my Clefable and got to like 61%, I think like 60 or 77% on the Milotic, I thought he was going to switch out into Heatran and then pressure my Flash Cannon, my Clefable with Flash Cannon, go for HP Ground, pop the Sugarberry, then he sacks off Heatran to Scolipede's Earthquake, then goes Milotic, because Milotic eats a Mega Horn, and either it eats a Mega Horn or forces me to go for my Z move right there, and then he wins with Necrozma, and it should have been like a 3-0 loss. So a 3-0 or 4-0 loss became a 1-0 loss, but to be fair, he kind of didn't have much for Scolipede, so his plays may have been questionable towards the end, but then again, I played badly around the Thundurus. I overpredicted a lot, and I lost Latios pretty doggone quick, especially considering Latios put a ton of pressure on his team, even though I didn't have super effective cover from the Necrozma or whatnot. Spec Side Shock still did a crap ton to his entire team and all that stuff. So either way, GG to Jarboss. We are now 1-2 with a -1 differential. So even though I've lost back-to-back games, the losses have been pretty close, as opposed to last season. So I feel as I've improved a lot, even though the record doesn't really show how the prep has gone. So yeah, that's gonna be it. One other thing, after this game, we made some transactions. We dropped Scrafty. Scrafty didn't come to a single game. It didn't really match up as well as I hoped to, so we freed up 6 points, and with the 6 points that we freed up, picked up 2 Pokemon. First Pokemon I picked up after dropping Scrafty. I wanted to keep a Dark type, but there wasn't many Dark type Pokemon around, lower tier Dark type, so we picked up Absol. Absol gives me my Dark type, keeps Stab knockoff, gives me priority with Sucker Punch. It's very versatile in its moveset and all that good stuff. And the other Pokemon we picked up, with the remaining 3 points, we picked up Zangoose. Zangoose, hard-hitting wall breakers, toxic boost facade, potentially 2 shots everything, close combat, another knockoff user, another priority user, eases the pressure off of Entei being my physical wall breaker for my team. It does give me... I did drop a fighting weakness and picked up 2 more, but I have Scolipede, I have Mega Venusaur, I have Clefable, so the fighting resist weakness isn't really that problematic. And on top of that, I needed the extra. I want to add a priority, and on the top of that, I did lose a fighting type Pokemon by dropping Scrafty, but Absol gets superpower. Zangoose in close combat, so the coverage is still there. So that's going to be it from me, guys. If you guys did enjoy this battle, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. Also, check out Jarboss's side of the battle, as well as checking out all of the NPL majors and minors, as well as the analysis coaches for the league. Week 4, we take on Andrew, aka Muse the Best, and the Portland Trail Bladeskins, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. And until the next time, guys, my name is Anthony, aka Tone. I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Later!